see what kind of adventure we can go on today. Today is the last one of my growth giving principles. This is number 7. 7 is a nice complete number. So many blessings from the number 7. And, my plan was to get something from the 7 habits. I got the workbook and I got the book, and I was going over it because I love 7 habits. Stephen Covey's just blew my mind with the 7 habits. And they even teach that in schools now. Here in Bullitt County where I am, all the elementary schools do the 7 habits. So, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put that in there. And I'm looking at each one and they're all good. And I've spoken about win-win was in them, but I couldn't use it. It wasn't fitting the way I wanted to. It wasn't just in there like that was the last one. What just wasn't working for me. And I wasn't stressing about it, but I did what I should have did from the very beginning. I, put my feet up in my thinking chair and started with this. As I was sitting in my thinking chair, thinking about what I was going to think about, I asked the Lord this: what does He have for it? Which I should have did at the very beginning. What do I need to talk about today as the last principle, grow giving? What is the last thing? And the last thing, the word I heard was release. And I was like, that's good. Release. To complete this. Release. And I was like, well, I never heard the law of release. But it sounds good. And it sounds like it should be one. So I looked it up and boom, there was one. Brian Tracy has a lot of laws and I did not see the law of release. So here we go. You ready? This is the law of release. It's applied when you let go of what you no longer want or need. You let it go. And by doing this, you make way for the things to come in that you do need or want. If we're holding on to an old car that's falling apart, and we're holding on to it, we don't make room or the necessary. We can't have both. Well, a lot of times we can't. So usually what we have to do is get rid of the old so the new will come in. Okay? So here's a few releases that I had put. We need to release the negative to make way for the positive. Okay? Release those grudges and unforgiveness. They did this to me so many years ago. That person not thinking about you. When we release the grudges and we forgive, we release ourselves to bring in a better relationship. When we forgive that person for doing what they did before, okay, we can bring in another person that will do better instead of comparing that. When that new person comes into our lives in our relationship, we compare them to the old one always. Just, well, they did this to me or they did this to me. So you pretty much are still with that old person. So we need to release that old person to make way for the new. Okay? Release some money that's going in the wrong direction. I was thinking, hey, I'll watch Netflix maybe. Never. I got it for the family. And if they're not using it, I'm paying for that account. So I need to release money to make way for something that I want. Okay. So holding on to this money for them not to use it is tying up money that I could be saving. So I have to release that. And if they want it, they can pay for it. So something else can take that place. Okay? Or I can use that money to go somewhere else. Oh man. Things that drain or people that drain you. I don't know if you ever been around somebody talking to them, and then when they go, you got to go home and you got to lay down and go to sleep because they drained all your energy. Things that drain, we want to release that or get away from it as quickly as possible. You don't have to be rude. But so the new things can come in. Okay? So we can have things that fulfill us, give us abundance, so our cup runneth over, so we can bless others out of the overflow. Here's another thing: release clutter. I'm going through my closet now, and there's a lot of things that I do not wear, and it's still there. And when I go to throw it away, not throw it away, but give it to Goodwill, I'm like, I might just wear this one more time. And I don't do it. And now my closet is full of stuff that I do not wear. And if I buy more, I don't have a place to put it. I'm going to have to end up throwing it out anyway. So I need to release the clutter and make way for organization. So my desk, has a lot of stuff on it. If I release the clutter, I can make way for the organization to come in. Release the guilt or depression and let it make way for joy. Now, this is it's easier said than done, okay? When you're down in a hole, it's hard to get up out of it. But if you make ways and make appropriations, when I'm feeling this way, I need to call this person because they always make me feel better. Having those actions in place like we were talking about yesterday, those actions, so we can make way for the next step to feel better. Okay. It says bestie. Find ways to release the best way we can, not bestie, because we want to release the hurt. Okay? Because hurt people, unintentional or intentional, and we want to make way for healing. So often a lot of times we slow down healing when we focus on and hold on to what's hurting us. This is physical and mental. So if somebody hurts you, this is where the forgiveness comes in. The more you focus on that hurt and you shut everybody out, the slower it is for your healing to come, to get past it. Okay? So that's where you have your circle of influence, your friends and things to help you get past that. So it's easy to be hurt. It's easy to hold on to negative things, but there's a better life right outside of that negative wall that we build. Okay, so we're only here for a short time, and so I really want you to intentionally live your life to make it meaningful. The things that you do, go all in for it. Just attack it. Just do the things that's going to please God and please you. Okay? That's important, because if you please you and not please God, it's going to be meaningless, and it's probably going to hurt you. It's going to be self-destructive. If it pleases God and not pleases you, you're going to have conflict within yourself, and you're not going to really trust Him the way you should, because you are mad at Him, and the relationship is kind of severed. But when it pleases God and pleases you, that's majority. That's all things right there, So I ran across this scripture yesterday. It says, whatever your hands finds to do it with your might. Do it with all your might, okay? For there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going. We all are going to pass at some point in time. So all of these wishes, this long list of wishes that we have, we don't want to take those wishes with us to the grave, okay? We want to fulfill as much as we can, especially when it pleases God and it pleases you. Take those wishes, make them into memories, okay? And with that, we're going to have a great day, right? Right? Thank you. Well, I love you. This was I think this is 231. Tomorrow, we're going to get on to something new. It's still going to be a law. I think it's the law of persistence. Because my word for this year is persistent. And there's a law for it. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, right? All right. Fist bump. Boom.